We need to bring back being professional. And I'm mostly talking to the younger Gen Z crowd. And I know I probably look like I'm a part of that. I'm actually almost 27, if you would believe it or not. But I've been talking about this with many people recently, people that I work for, friends of mine, whatever. There's so many problems with the younger generation coming into this professional field, any professional field, really. Like the way they format emails. You guys are emailing like it's a text. Emails need to be professional. They need to have a subject, an intro, an ending, a signature. You can't just be like, okay, great. That's a text. That's not an email. And also there's a lack of taking initiative. I feel like all the interns I'm bringing on and all the young people I'm working with are just doing exactly what they're told. I'll ask them, for example, I work in a lot of like marketing and social media fields, meta ads, you name it. I'll ask them to make a video. I've never once had them make me 3 and be like, I made these, pick your favorite one, let me know your feedback. Or they never said, okay, I love that idea. I'm also thinking maybe we could do this. There's none of that. It's just black and white to them. You guys have to start taking initiative. I just got my biggest retainer freelance client in the last week, my highest rate, my most exciting project yet in the last few months at least. And I asked him, I met with the CEO today. I had only met with him over Zoom. I met with him today and I point blank asked him, why did you decide to work with me? You hadn't even really seen any of my work yet. We hadn't met in person yet. What made you want to move forward? And he was like, you took initiative more than anyone I've ever talked to, more than anyone else in the interview process. All I did was I had my first initial call with him. I was very responsive leading up to that call, answering him right away. After the call, I sent him, he asked me to send him over a few ideas. I sent him 100 ideas. Nothing crazy, but I sent him a lot of ideas, very well thought out. I put a lot of effort into it. And then I added some additional ideas and perspective. And then I also let him know other things that I could do for him if the opportunity arises, other things that I have experience in. And then I followed up 2 days later saying, would you like to meet in person? I knew the neighborhood he lived in. I said, we can meet at this time at this place on Monday afternoon. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And he told me when we got to the meeting in person that he wanted to bring me on just because of that email and just because I set the time and place and took the initiative. So I'm not trying to sound like a boomer or something and talk down or anything like that. But if I get it, I think it's a more anxious generation. There's an issue with taking initiative and all these things. But you guys, when you move into a professional setting, people love that. They want to see the hunger. They want to see the drive. No one is going to expect you to get everything right. They just want to hear your ideas. They want to hear what you have to say. I might not always feel like it, but they do. So try. If you're going into an entry-level position, if you're applying to a ton of jobs right now, just try to take initiative, go into those interviews with ideas already in your head, and just do better. Because oh my God, all the young people I've been working with that are in college, straight out of college, it's not been great.
A lot of people are going to hate on me for this take, but I really truly believe that if you're a guy between the ages of 20 and 30 years old and you don't have kids, maybe you're not married, you don't really have anybody that depends on you, you should be absolutely grinding, working, doing all kinds of things, spending extra hours, attacking goals, and just setting yourself up, because one day you're going to be a lot more busy. You're going to have people depending on you. You're going to have other things going on. You will never have more time than you have right now. And just a big believer of not trying to act like you're retired when you're 20 years old.
Okay, so I'm always hearing about how cooked the job market it is and how nobody can find a job. Well, I'm an employer in this market, okay? I have a landscaping business and I have an employer account on Indeed. And I posted a job for them the other day offering for beginner positions $15 an hour, and for a crew leader or growth positions, people with experience $18 an hour up to $30 an hour, okay? This is untaxed. I send you a 1099 at the end of the year if you end up, getting paid a certain amount by me. So I get over 100 applicants on this job form, all right? Out of all 100 applicants, 85 of them either don't answer my call back to set up the trial day, or they set up the trial day and I never hear from them again. They don't show up, they ghost me, they say they got a flat tire, whatever. I say, hey, send me a picture. They don't fucking send it, of course. All right, so there goes 85% of my applicants, and I would say 10 more, or probably 14 more, we'll leave one exception. They schedule the trial day, and then there is some form of issue. Either they're sick off of drugs and they're just trying to get a single day's paycheck, or they have a terrible criminal record, just shit that makes me distraught. I had a person come out to the trial day and say they were attracted to me. Okay, mind you, I'm 19. This was like a 30-year-old man. All right, I've had, people say they're homeless, or they tell me they have a ride in a place that they live at, and they're actually homeless and they don't have a car and they don't have transportation. So there goes another 14 people. They're pedophiles, criminal record, homeless, sick off drugs, withdrawals, and it's ridiculous. And then that one person that's left over, unfortunately, I didn't get this lucky, but sometimes that's your guy. That's the guy you'll be able to trust, and unfortunately, that wasn't me. I got 0 good employees off of this job application with 100 applicants, all right? So I don't know if it's me as an employer being the problem or if it's the job market, but in my experience, it's the people.